Zilch left, 35 Wichita Macho
Dice
Toe.
right, F5.
Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg.
Ready? Right.
All right, and welcome back to the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast, episode 32. Definitely did not take a super long break for the offseason, but that's irrelevant. We're back now, right, Ryan?
Yeah, no, it was just a nice summer break,
It's called a break, we had stuff to do. Also, there wasn't a lot to talk about, so. But now we have so much to talk about and so much things to say.
Yes, indeed.
So we're going to get right into it. We got a couple new segments. Hopefully just try to diversify the show a little bit more so we're not saying the same things over and over again. We'll get into those a little bit later, but we do have some offseason news to talk about before we do all of that. First order of business, the entire crap show that was the Brendan Sorsby saga. The entire thing.
Yeah, that's the only way to describe that.
Let's take you down. Let's go on a timeline basis and to go step by step to really hammer out all the details of how crazy this story was, because this was insane. So, January 4th, Brendan Sorsby, out of the transfer portal, commits to Texas Tech. He had a breakout year at Cincinnati, some would say. I don't know. He still didn't throw for over 100 yards against Nebraska, but irrelevant. One of the highest, I think he was the highest rated. I think he was first or second for
The transfer portal?
Transfer portal. I think it was either him or Levitt that was first or second among quarterbacks through this past cycle. Let me just confirm this real quick. Oh, never mind. He was quarterback 3, I think. Let me just confirm this real quick. Did they take him off 247? Did he get banished? I don't think he's not here.
That's awesome.
I think he was 3 behind Sam Levitt and Drew Mestemaker. So
I think he was ahead of Messmaker.
So then he was 2. Yeah, 247 took him off the site. So
As they should.
As they should. Anyways, so he commits to Texas Tech out of the transfer portal. 3 months later, he's gone through spring practice with them. April 27th, Brendan Sorsby enters rehab on the same day that news breaks that the NCAA was investigating him for allegations of illegal betting. So he preemptively goes into rehab for a gambling issue. May 18th, Sorsby is looking to still play. The NCAA finds him guilty of sports betting, which is the biggest cardinal sin of sports, is betting on your own sport. So they rule him ineligible for breaking rules. He files an injunction on May 18th, trying to get his year of eligibility back. June 8th, he wins this injunction stupidly from a Lubbock judge. Even though he definitely broke the rules, he bet on his own team. It was, $90,000 total worth of bets placed throughout his time in Indiana. This same day he wins the injunction, everybody is appalled because this is ridiculous. The college football world starts to shut Texas Tech out. You have teams like Georgia and who was the other one? Nebraska?
Kansas State.
No, Nebraska was, I think, it was Kansas State. You're right. Sorry. Kansas State and Georgia are like, yeah, we're not playing you in anything. You don't deserve the time of day from any of our sports teams, football or anything else. These were the first 2 teams to do so. This same day, the Big Ten collectively was moving to do the same and banning Texas Tech from everything. 2 days later, Texas Tech doesn't care. They're standing firm on their feet. They're going to try and get Sorsby to play quarterback for them this year. They claim that, this is the right thing. This is the correct decision. Yada, yada, yada. They're going to, this is what they're standing on. A day later, the Big Ten withdraws its ideas to ban Texas Tech and everything. And saying they'll let the schools themselves handle it. Nebraska, where's Nebraska comes in, has put forth a ban on playing Texas Tech in everything. And other Big Ten teams have major decisions on that on the way, including Illinois and Oregon. 3 days later, on June 15th, the Big 12 sues its own team, Texas Tech, for breaking rules. They go to court to enforce the rules they have in place, saying, yeah, this guy broke the rules. He should not be allowed to play. Later this same day, Sorsby withdraws his injunction and declares he's going to go and try and get a supplemental NFL draft to go to the NFL draft before the season. So after all the pressure and all the pushing and all heck about to break loose for Texas Tech, whether it was Sorsby himself went to Texas Tech and said, hey, I'm going to go to the supplemental draft. This is too much for me. Or Texas Tech goes to Sorsby and says, hey, keep your money that we paid you, which was multiple millions of dollars. This is getting too much for us. We're going to back you publicly, but you need to go. We can't have this. 2 days later, Brendan Sorsby agent claims Cincinnati knew of Sorsby's wrongdoing against gambling. Cincinnati denies it. The same day, Brendan Sorsby backs off with the motion to dismiss his court case, and they basically accept he's not playing for Texas Tech this year. 6 days later, after filing for the supplemental draft, the NFL says, no, there's not going to be a supplemental draft for just you. No team really wants you that much. And then this is all I have in this timeline from this article I was reading off of, but didn't he also try to sue the NFL for not having a supplemental draft?
Yeah, he did try to sue the NFL.
Here we go. Yeah. June 23rd, NFL elects to not hold supplemental drafts. He then tries to go to the CFL. 3 days later, the CFL says, no, you're not playing for us either. Brendan Sorsby then tried to sue the NFL in association with the NFL Players Association, which, by the way, doesn't make sense to me. You're not an NFL player. How do you have access to the NFLPA if you're not in the NFL?
Yeah, it doesn't really add up, does it?
Anyways, June 30th, which was a week ago as the day of recording this, which is July 6th, he backs off suing the NFL and has now fully turned towards the 2027 NFL draft so he can do things the right way. Finally, entire tussle of trying to break rules and bend rules just to get to play football in a not legal way this year finally ends with him saying, okay, fine, I'll take the year off. I'll take my suspension and go to the NFL next year. This is one of the most bizarre sequences of events in terms of eligibility and a player trying to play. That I have ever seen. And that's saying a lot because we have a lot of eligibility battles and a lot of weird crap that happens. And with this being the weirdest, that's saying something.
Right.
So I think in the end, the right decisions were made for him not to play college football this year. Because, oh my God, if he played college football this year, that would have been so bad.
Texas Tech would have gone from one of the most loved teams last year to one of the most hated.
They already are one of the most hated. Like,
yeah.
Period. Just for their trying to go through with this. If they manage to get through, they would absolutely be the most hated team in the country. But also just for the integrity of the sport. A player should not be allowed to break rules and get away with it. He broke rules. He should not be allowed to play.
Yeah, no. It's crazy that they were even trying to go to bat for him in that it's like, no, he bet on his own team and he spent 90 grand.
And this the whole
I'm pretty sure it's cut and dry here. Like this is an easy one to just kind of make a 1 day news cycle about, not a 3 week news cycle.
3 week. This is a 2 month thing. Yeah, and I think 80% of the reason they really tried to stick up for him because they're like, we really want this guy to play because we gave him what, $4 million, and we don't want that $4 million to go to waste.
They shouldn't have to.
I agree.
They shouldn't have to pay him.
They shouldn't have to, but they agreed to it. That's how they got him to leave. Was like, you know what? Just keep your money, get out of here.
Ugh. That sucks. They should not have to pay him for that.
This is why I think you need the contracts to be they need to have terms. They can't just be all willy nilly. Here's money, come play for us. They need to have
Yeah.
year need to have years in the contracts. They need to have uh you know they need to have outs for schools or players. If there's evidence of
I
wrongdoing or
think
proving
I
of
don't
wongdoing, stuff
I
like
don't
that.
think you need the years on there because I mean the way it is right now, we've got guys leaving different schools every year, and most of the time it's to go play for a better opportunity. But I think having a way out for both the team and the player is probably more important.
Yeah. There was really no way he should have been given an injunction. Like, the only reason he got an injunction was because it was from a Lubbock, Texas judge. Let's be real here. Because on what planet can you say, yeah, I broke the rules, but if you don't allow me to get away with it, my mental health is going to suffer? That's the card he played for that judge that got him that injunction. What?
Raider Red was the judge.
What? And also, there's like this has kind of been a point of discussion. Why is this guy getting treated so much more harshly than players who go commit crimes and then come back and play football? Yes, those are bad, and those players, they need repercussions for that. They're not directly impacting the game with the rule they're breaking. Brendan Sorsby could have placed a bet on a receiver and then only targeted that receiver for the entire first quarter to make sure that bet places. I don't know if that's exactly what happened. We don't know the details of the bet, but that is something that could happen if you let players get away with this. And then at that point, you're not playing football anymore. Plain and simple.
Yeah, no, it's you can't this Sorsby case like needed to end this way first of all, and because if you let players start betting on their own games, I mean your entire like the entire thing that college football is just becomes a scripted show,
Yep.
and we've already we've already got the WWE, okay, and our theories about other sports, but I'd rather not see scripted sports in
Yeah,
college football because I mean, how else are we supposed to get things like the kick six, bro?
exactly, bro. Exactly. So
They can't
that
write
was
that up.
no, no. They couldn't write that up if they tried. So that was that. I'm glad that this whole thing is over, and hopefully we don't have to hear anything from Brendan Sorsby's camp at least until the NFL draft. Because I'm sick of hearing from them and their excuses on why their rule breaking quarterback should be allowed to play without punishment.
Yeah,
So, anyways, moving to our next topic, NCAA recently revised its eligibility rules in an effort to, I guess, keep college players college age. Um, moved to a 5 and 5 model for eligibility, which basically means you have 5 years to play 5 seasons, and it starts the moment you start your first college football season after high school or the moment you turn 19. So this is an effort to kind of make sure there's no 25-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds in college ball, because that's not what college ball is supposed to be. Um, Now, the main, I guess, con to this system that people are bringing up is injuries. Players who suffer a bad string of luck with injuries and use medical red shirts to to give them a buffer so they can rehab and then come back and then still get the same amount of time that everyone else does. My point to that is you're getting an extra year to play. It basically this just gets rid of redshirting. It gives you an entire extra year to play, and still, I think if you're 25 and you shouldn't be playing college football, really, no matter the circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, dude, what are you doing here?
Get
I'm
a job.
sorry, but
Get a job.
if you haven't like declared for the draft within 4 seasons of playing, come on, bro. We all know you're not making it.
Look,
I'm sorry,
I
but if you can't get to to an NFL ready position, you don't even have to be NFL great position. You just got to be NFL ready
Yep.
in 4 years. That's fine. Dream didn't work out.
And you get a fifth. You're getting a fifth year.
Yeah, and
Anyways.
and and let's not forget you're coming to college for free. Let's let's use that degree, buddy.
You got plenty of time to earn it too. So
Yeah, come on.
I think this is I like this. I like this rule change because I think it's it's something being established that people are actually like starting to listen to, and there's not well, there's obviously pushback, but like the NCAA is, I guess, trying to regain a foothold of control because obviously they've lost control. They've lost control for a few years, clearly. Um, but I think this is the first step in a correct direction for NIL control because a lot of these guys were coming back to college because they were getting NIL contracts. Um, like Trinidad Chambliss this year. You really think if that guy wasn't getting $4 million by Ole Miss, he wouldn't go to the NFL draft? Please. Um, so I think this is the first step in a correct direction to try and get the absolute chaos that is the NIL era under control.
Yeah, it's the first step, I guess you could say, in finally regaining that control that they initially had when it came to recruiting and transferring. Um, but it's the first of hopefully many that they take because it's still crazy. I mean, guys will enter the portal, leave the portal, enter the portal, go transfer somewhere, decommit, commit somewhere else, then decommit again, then recommit. And it's just like, dude, I don't want to see this.
The
I just want to see you anywhere. I don't care.
the
It
intent. Go ahead.
Yeah, it should. Well, I was just gonna say, just stay, and once you pick a spot for a year, just stay there for a year at least.
The intent behind NIL originally was never for it to allow bidding wars between teams
Yeah,
over players and trying to bend the rules over backwards. Calling up guys that have already signed and say, hey, we'll double the amount of money you're getting if you unenroll from your classes and illegally come start playing over here. Pete Golding. The purpose of NIL was to make sure that college players are paid for the services that they give us, and so they're not exploited by the schools and networks. And I think it's great for that purpose. It's not great for having bidding wars between colleges. It's not.
no,
So, our 2 cents on that. Anything else to contribute to that?
no,
All right, last bit of off-season talk for this episode. At least we'll have more in the next. Um, the Big Ten for months now, many months, has pushed for an expansion to a 24-team playoff. The Big 12 has now jumped and backed that concept. We're sticking with 12 this year because they missed the deadline last year to get it implemented. But Big 12, all of the Big 12 coaches have unanimously agreed that about a little over a month ago that the 24 team system should be what is implemented forward, going forward. So that's two of the major conferences jumped on board. The SEC and Big Ten haven't agreed themselves on what the terms of this format should be, so that's why we're still stuck at 12. Ryan, what do you think about this 24 team playoff that eliminates automatic qualifiers? And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but essentially ends the meaning behind conference championship games.
I mean, I like the idea of a 24 team playoff format. I think we already ranked the top 25 teams. I feel like if you're going to rank all the way to 25, there should be a reason that you rank all the way to 25. Otherwise, why not stop at 15? I mean, the
Yeah, I
teams
agree.
that are 16 through 20, like 16, yeah, you can argue like they've got a chance at the postseason most of the time, but like, I mean, you get a 19, 20, 21, and by, week 11, it's like, oh, look at that. We made the college football playoff ranking.
We've said this
But it
multiple
does not
times.
matter because you're a three-loss team and you're probably going to lose this week and be removed from the CFP anyways.
We,
So it's
we've said
like,
we've said this multiple times. At the end of the season, nobody cares if Iowa's ranked 24th.
yeah, it's right. It's I. No one cares if I was ranked 24th. No one cares if Mizzou is ranked 23rd. No one
Illinois
cares
is
if
22nd.
yeah, like
It's
they're
meaningless.
just it doesn't make sense. I don't care about that when I'm watching the CFP show. I like no, just show me the top 12 or the top 15, 16 teams. If you want to give me 25 teams, give me a 24 team playoff format.
There you go.
I yeah.
Yeah, I just think 24 is a little much. Think it doesn't really make like it makes the regular season matter a lot less, and then some of the big games have a lot less meaning to them. And then, like we said, conference championships are probably going to go by the wayside. We've had this talk before about if we were in charge, what we would do. I liked both of our ideas. You had 20, I think, when we did this last time. I had 18.
Yeah.
Um,
I might make a little counter argument to your big games won't matter as much anymore.
okay.
And I don't disagree with that statement, but if you get rid of auto qualifiers, every game still matters just as much because you can't just sandbag through your first three games and then go and win your
I
conference championship. But it also makes it to where we could get some better games earlier in this. We could have team. I mean, you could have Ohio State play Texas and Clemson and you know Boise State in the first three games of the season, and they probably won't drop any of those, but they might. And it's like 5 years ago that might have killed them because now they got to go win every single Big Ten game.
I okay. No, that's a very good point. I like that it does allow for tougher out of conference games to happen because the result from them is a lot less dire.
Because
Um,
I mean, you
but
already saw like last season, Texas was like, "Why should we play good teams if we're just gonna,
no,
get punished
I
for it?"
I see. I do like that about this expanded format. It allows for tougher out of conference games. But I still think the top of the top kind of mean less. Like Texas and Ohio State week 1 last year, under a 2014 format, people were like, okay, this is a good game. It really doesn't matter for the loser, though.
Yeah,
But I think in an inverse to that, it does make secondary games matter a little bit more. You know?
what do you mean?
Like, let's just use the SEC because they have the 3 time slots. That
Hmm.
primetime game probably is not going to have as much meaning as it would in the 24 as the 12. That second 3:30 game though, is probably going to be a lot higher staked because it'll probably be two teams in the mid, in the mid 10s or low 20s who are fighting
Right.
for those last few. That game is going to mean more
I got you.
rather
Yeah.
than a game between like 4 and 7.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you say like games like that won't matter as much, but it's not like the teams won't try as hard,
That's
you
true.
know?
That's absolutely true.
And you know, when you get, teams that are 17 and 22 fighting for the or probably 20 and unranked or something like that, and you have them playing in the afternoon and they're fighting for that postseason spot, now you're just adding more depth to how many games matter and are good and will be important for the postseason.
Yeah. Okay.
It just
So
I think it just adds a little bit more.
okay. I'm starting to realize that there's a little bit nicer things to this 2014 format than I realized before. Still think it's a little bit too much teams, but as long as
I
they
think,
do the
yeah, I don't like that it's 24 teams. Like
yeah.
I'm like that's too that's a lot of teams for the college football
Yeah.
championship, but
And what is that? What is that? How many teams we get a bye? The top 8 we
ooh
get a bye,
ooh
and
yeah.
then
Yeah,
and then so
top
that's
eight get a bye.
so go to 16. So then round of 16, round of 8, round of 4, round of
Mm,
2. So it's 5 games. That's a lot of football. It's a lot of postseason football.
it's a lot of postseason football.
That is a lot of postseason football. So, you would have to work some things out with the scheduling, maybe get rid of week 0, maybe not have as big a gaps between the playoff games. Who knows? But with it looks like this is just a matter of time before this gets implemented. So I just hope that when it does, it's done correctly and
Yeah,
it's fair between all the conferences because I hate the idea of 2 super conferences. I despise that idea.
right.
Um, between just making the SEC and the Big Ten 2 super, I hate that idea. I think it should be fair for all the conferences, and I think the best 24 teams should be the 24 teams in.
Yeah. And like I mean, you want to talk about some of the teams that would have made it this year if they I mean, you've got BYU, you've got Texas, you've
Texas,
got
you got
Utah, you've got Vanderbilt, you've
Vandy.
got Virginia, but they should have won their conference championship game. For some reason, Iowa. I think actually, I think they got in after the bowl games. Hold on. But like you've just got there are a lot more teams that you could see in the postseason that wouldn't just need to be group of 5 teams that won their conference. You'd get some more parity in there because you're always going to have your powerhouses, but you never
and
know who's going to be in the mid teens and low 20s.
and and another good thing, under 24 teams, there should not be a single team that complains that they did not get into the playoffs. If you are ranked 25th, I don't care.
Suck it up.
I don't care. If you're ranked 25th, you probably lost 3 games. Don't lose 3
you
games.
you
Or
probably
3 or
lost more than
4.
3 games.
You
Yeah,
you might have lost 4.
you
Iowa is
probably lost
23rd and
4.
they're 8-4.
Yeah,
Nobody should complain. That is my biggest critique about the 12-team playoff is somebody is always complaining.
yeah,
Oh, we didn't get in. Our strength schedule, blah. I don't care. It's different than the 14 playoff where a team like Florida State kind of let things get out of control for them. Now, granted, they looked pretty bad the last part of the season, but they won all their games. You can't be like, oh, well, you should have won this game. If you won it in, you should have won this game. You can't complain. No, they won all their
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Under 12 teams, bro, you should. If you have 2 losses, you shouldn't be complaining about nothing.
Yeah, no. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why there were any actual complaints for who was in the playoffs this year. Like, I
I think it was less about who is and more about how they did it.
yeah, it was how they did it. They screwed up, but
Which
they
the
fixed it,
committee was
and
very stupid this year with how they did things. I will
yeah,
admit, but
they got it right in the end.
I
That's all that
think they got it right
matters.
in the end. Anyways, um, yeah. So I think 24 team format is pretty much guaranteed to happen at some point. We just don't know when it's going to happen. Might be this year, might be next year, might be the year after. Who knows? It might get passed in 2 days. We really don't know. I just think it's bound to happen at some point. So I just hope that when it does happen, it is done correctly, and there is not as many issues with the 24 team system than there are currently with the 12 team system.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to move along to one of our newer segments that we hope is a reoccurring thing, and we hope is a fun segment for everyone involved. We're going to go to the refs bench. All right, and welcome to the refs bench. Please all rise for the unhonorable Judge Christian.
Watch your mouth. Welcome to refs bench. You're in my courtroom now.
Hey, I stood up.
Yeah.
Welcome. No mercy shall be shown.
Anyways, can you please present us with the case for the day?
Of course, today we will be going over our conference championships games still meaningful. Nick, your opening statement.
So I'm arguing today that yes, conference championship games are meaningful and they should continue to be meaningful, and that should reflect in the college football playoff rankings for the future. The main point I'm trying to argue is that they're some of the most anticipated games before the playoffs of the entire season, and I think these games should be impactful to make sure they keep their weight and their meaning. I do think, however, that the way the impact on these games should be shifted on more towards rewarding the winner as opposed to completely punishing the loser. But if you do it that way, I feel like the games keep the meanings, and it also keeps it fair to teams that make it to the conference championships and their playoff chances and hopes.
Okay. Ryan, your opening statement, please.
I'm arguing today that conference championships are more ceremonial at this point. They don't really have much of an impact, and they shouldn't, because the committee already doesn't view them as a valuable game. You've seen it kind of in Nick's point. You've seen it shown how they don't really hurt the losers. They kind of reward the winners sometimes. And I mean, there have been too many cases throughout the college football playoff that where teams have been hurt even after winning their conference championship game, that they don't matter anymore.
Okay. Nick, go ahead, present some evidence.
So I think that they have gone away. The CFP committee has gone away from the meeting conference championship games since the expansion of the playoff from 4 to 12 teams. I think they should be reintroduced as an item of importance, because I think that gives us the best football possible at the end of the regular season. If we go look back at some of the conference championship games over the last 12 years, I think they've been some of the best games that we've seen. Take it to just 3 years before the expansion of the playoffs in 2021 and the Big 12 championship, where I believe it was Oklahoma State, correct, missed out on the playoffs by literally 1 inch.
Yep.
That's a crazy game, and that's a great game. And those types of games are amazing for the sport, and I think they should continue to be allowed to exist. And they can't be allowed to exist if there's not really importance in the conference championship game. There's plenty of others just like that one, but that was the main one I wanted to highlight.
Okay. Ryan, your evidence, please.
Yeah, Nick, we get great conference championship games, with the idea that teams are fighting for a postseason spot, but we also get games, that aren't necessarily the best, and they typically lead to if a team is going to get upset in a conference championship, and I know we've seen already that teams haven't necessarily gotten penalized for losing in a conference championship game, but if sometimes there have been teams that have lost. I'm trying to think. They've lost their championship game. Sometimes it's even been when they win. I mean, you go back to what was it 2022 Florida State? I
23.
mean, they went undefeated. They won their championship game. I know it was a low scoring game, but they won it with relative ease. And yeah, they had an injury, but they missed the playoffs to 12-1 Alabama, who beat Georgia in their conference championship game. But Florida State, who was undefeated, became the first undefeated team to miss the postseason. Now, you look at these last couple of seasons, and with the new 12 team format, it honestly even dampens uh, the need for conference championships even more, because now you get teams like Tulane and James Madison getting into the postseason just because they win their conference championship, and you have a weaker conference like the ACC this season with Duke winning their conference championship. You get teams like that, and they just get pummeled in the playoffs, and it's like, well, why even have them in there in the first place?
Okay, okay. Well presented. Now, Ryan, if you would present your first piece of evidence.
So these conference championship games, they're fun. I like them. I love watching them. They're ceremonial, and I say this because, especially with this new format, Notre Dame is almost guaranteed a playoff spot this year. As long as they are in the top 12, they will make the postseason. And you know what? You know what? They don't have a conference. So you know what they don't get to play in? A conference championship. Doesn't matter. They've got one of the easiest schedules in the entire country this season. They play teams from the bottom half of both the ACC and Big Ten this season. Other than the only other teams that they play that are relatively good, I would argue, are BYU, USC, and that's a rivalry game, and SMU or Miami. And actually, they don't even play USC this year. They're playing two, maybe three quality opponents. If you'd call SMU a quality opponent, I don't know how great they're going to be this year, but they have one of the easiest schedules, and it's basically like a cakewalk to the postseason.
Okay, okay. Nick, your counter argument.
I think your entire point actually shows to why conference championships should be a thing and should be a major emphasis on how we evaluate a team. Because if you go by the wayside with conference champions, there's going to be 135 other Notre Dames in the country who we're not going to have a conference champion against another top team from their conference as another game to evaluate how good this team is. You could have a team get completely lucky with their conference schedule that they draw and end up playing one, maybe two top tier teams, and then they end up at the top of their conference and a cakewalk to the playoffs. Take Indiana in 2025, for example, or 2024, excuse me, when they played Ohio State, and that was like it, and they went into the playoffs and then got smoked in the first round. What's the difference between them that year and Notre Dame? They didn't make their conference championship that game because they were in a three-way tie with, I think, Penn State. But if they were in a conference championship and they get blown out in that conference championship, they're obviously not a good team. Like, that's not, you can sit there and go, okay, this team has played two good games. One of them was a conference championship. They have not rose to the occasion once. They don't have a quality win. And when the stage was the biggest, they folded. That, I think, is a good use of a conference championship. Is if you have a team who everyone can see has kind of skated their way by some inferior competition throughout the course of the season, conference championship is the final test before, okay, this team deserves a playoff spot. And I think that is one of the reasons why they should stick around, to use them as that sort of measurement.
Okay. Nick, your further evidence?
Kind of just building off what I just said. I think it kind of It acts as a fraud check. Um, I mean, we've seen teams that have appeared to be really good. They go into a conference championship game and then they don't play very good. Um, you know, like you pointed out the what was it? You pointed out Florida State in 2023. They didn't look good in that conference championship game, and the reason they fell out is because Alabama in their conference championship game beat the number one seed, who everyone was like, "Oh, they're the only team that can really compete with Michigan up there in the top." Alabama goes in and beats Georgia. You gonna deny that team the playoff spot when they looked good and Notre Dame looked, or and Florida State looked like how they did the last, not even in that conference championship game, the last few games of the season? Once again, that championship game acted as a fraud check. They went into this game against the Louisville team that was very inferior, and if Florida State was really like that year, they should have handled easily. They didn't. That game was a sludge fest. Florida State's defense kept them in there because their defense was good. The offense, not at all. That's the type of game that I think conference championships should be. They should be a final test at the end of the year.
Ryan, your counter, please.
Yeah, I mean, you say you'd like them to be a fraud check, and I like that. I think yeah, sure, they can definitely be used as a fraud check to maybe punish teams. I think that would make more sense because you've got a team like Alabama last year who plays against Georgia in another conference championship game because this is the SEC. It's only Alabama versus Georgia, and Alabama gets pummeled. Like I don't even think I paid attention to most of that game. I know we were watching it, but I was not focused on it in the slightest bit because Georgia was up 21-0 midway through the third, and it was like, all right, this game's done. I don't need to keep watching this. And yeah, Alabama picked up a win in the postseason because they weren't punished. They were able to, they beat Oklahoma. They had to come back and beat Oklahoma, and then they got destroyed by Indiana. I mean, absolutely. They didn't even put up a fight. You know who put up a better fight than them? Penn State, Wisconsin, Iowa. Those teams put up better fights against Indiana than Alabama did. Old Dominion scored 2 touchdowns against Indiana, and Alabama couldn't even muster up more than a field goal. I I don't think that team should have made the postseason last year. They were good at the start of the year, but they very quickly started to fall off right at the end there. That win against Auburn and then the oh sorry, it was 28-7 in the SEC championship game. But that win against Auburn and the loss against Oklahoma during the season were two ugly games that should have shown to everyone that they were not a playoff team.
So time out.
Now,
You're agreeing that the conference championship should have acted as a fraud check to get an inferior team, in your opinion, Alabama, out of the playoff field.
yes, I think conference. If you want to argue conference championships matter, it should matter for the losers, not the winners.
I think it should matter for both. I think they should be a reward, and if you look that terrible, you are just terrible. It's not really a way to sugarcoat that.
Ryan, your
Um,
next piece of evidence, please.
okay, so I'm gonna take us back to the very first college football playoff back in 2014 when the 4-team format was formally introduced. Pretty fun year. You got Mississippi State at the top of the boards for most of the season. You've got Auburn, Ole Miss, Arizona State was in there for a minute. But over in the Big 12, you had a pair of teams. You had Baylor and TCU. I'm gonna focus on TCU. They were in the top six from about week 10 on. All right, they were 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10-1, all the way up until week 14. They're 10-1. They're the number 3 team in the country. They've got Alabama and Oregon ahead of them. They've got 12-0 Florida State right behind them. They just jumped them this previous week. and they've got 11-1 Ohio State on their tail as well. TCU, in their final game of the season, beats Iowa State. Not a good Iowa State, by the way. 55-3. They destroyed them. And you want to look at 2014 TCU football. They were dominating everybody. They beat SMU 56-0. They beat number 4 Oklahoma 37-33. They beat Oklahoma State 42-9. They scored 82 points against Texas Tech. Let's just think about that one for a second.
To clarify, when you said they beat who was it, Iowa State in their final game of the season, was that week 12 or the conference championship?
Yeah,
week 12. The Big 12 suspended their conference championship game from 2011 to 2016.
Okay.
So let's go to the next week to conference championship week, and TCU realistically is just kind of watching to see maybe who their opponent in the playoff is going to be. Number 2 Oregon wins 51-13 against Arizona. They're in the postseason. They lock up the number 2 spot. Number 1 Bama sadly destroys Mizzou 42-13. They lock up the number 1 spot. Ohio State beats Wisconsin 59-0. Oh, that's kind of scary for TCU to see, because that Ohio State could probably jump TCU, right? Florida State wins 37-35 against Georgia Tech in that final game. Now, let's go take a look and see. Georgia Tech that year finished 11-3. That was a good team. They lost to both Duke and North Carolina that year.
Sorry, continue.
What?
No. My bad. Continue.
Florida State barely wins, and both Florida State and Ohio State jump TCU. TCU finishes 6th in the rankings because of a loss to Baylor earlier in the season, who jumps them. And they missed the postseason and didn't make it until, what was it, 2021, 2020?
2022.
2022? That was the next time they made the postseason, which they got murdered. If conference championships should matter, if the Big 12 played a conference championship that year and TCU wins, there's no doubt that they're in the postseason. Is it their fault that the Big 12 suspended the conference championship? I don't think so. So why should they get punished just because another team is winning that conference championship? It shouldn't matter, because there's not always better teams, but there are teams that should take spots over conference championship winners.
And if I may ask, what was TCU's final record in 2014?
11-1. They went on and beat Ole Miss 42-3 in their bowl game.
And who did you say that lost to was that season?
Baylor, who finished 5th.
Baylor. Okay.
Were those the top 2 teams in the Big 12? So if there was a Big 12, those 2 would have played. Okay.
Yeah. You want to know what the score of that first game was, by the way?
It was 61-58.
Yeah, there you go.
That's vintage Big 12 right there. Anyways.
That is vintage Big 12. Also, 82 points.
Yeah, I see that too. Look, I see
Big 12.
That too. Is that all that entails to your point?
Yeah.
Okay. My opponent brings up a very good point about TCU in 2014. They really good offense, and was winning a lot of big games by a lot of points. Did not play a conference championship and got bumped down by Ohio State and Florida State. Correct?
Yes.
I I would like to make the counter argument that big reason that was they didn't play in a conference championship game, and the other two teams played in a conference championship game against two formidable opponents at the top of their respective conferences. Um, I want to especially highlight Ohio State, who absolutely blew Wisconsin out of the water. If you're trying to argue that conference championships should have mattered and Ohio State should have been left out, Ohio State won the national championship this year. They showed how good of a
I'm
team
not
they were
arguing that Ohio
in.
State should have been left out of the postseason.
And what are you arguing then? Because
I'm
I
arguing that
I
Florida State should have been left out.
I think Ohio State, who was ranked what 5 at the time, and what was Florida State ranked 4?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm arguing that Ohio State used the conference championship, which how I think it ought to be used. They used it as a show me game, as a give us a final look at who you really are as a team and how you're playing at this stage of the season. Because I'm going to acknowledge that teams' momentum shift throughout the course of the year.
Like Texas this year?
Elaborate.
You're gonna tell me that the team that
You mean
just
that?
let
Wait,
Florida walk all over them is the
you mean
same team that destroyed was it one loss A&M team or an undefeated A&M team?
well, that was also the team that 2 weeks prior got destroyed by Georgia. So I don't really know what your point is there.
Yeah, but
Um,
Georgia was we were chalking that up to a loss. Let's be real.
okay, yeah, but not that bad of one. Not that bad of a
After the way
loss.
I saw them play in DKR.
So then that team really was not that good. They had a good game against A&M, and that was it. That team had a bit. If that team played in the conference championship game, I have a feeling we would see that this team really is where they're supposed to be.
All right, all right.
So I just think that they should be used as a reward for a winner, and if you look bad enough, a punishment for a loser. I'm not saying we should go out and eradicate teams that lose by one score as an underdog or anything like that. Like, for example, let's take. Let me think of a good example of this. I think if BYU was already ranked into the playoffs this year when they went and played Texas Tech again, how close is that game? Actually, I'm not remembering the score of that game. How close is that
Not
game?
close.
Not close.
Not
Never
close.
mind. Not a good example. Not a good example. Let me just say a team that shouldn't really be the victor or isn't favored in that game, they lose by one score and they're on the edge of the playoffs of making it or being knocked out. I don't really think that game should knock them out because they're already the underdog and I think they're where they're supposed to be. I think it should be used as a gauge to see, okay, what information can we extract about these two teams from this game? Is one team better than we thought they were? Is one team worse than they thought they were? Are these two teams the exact two teams that we think they are at this stage at this stage of the season, and we're ranking them correctly? I would argue that Bama last year probably, if you're truly looking at this game as a test, should have probably dropped out. I think that's the real purpose of it, and then it keeps the impact. And as Ryan says, it's a tradition. You keep the tradition, you keep the impact, and I think it gives us those really high quality games that I was mentioning earlier.
Okay. We'll now prepare for closing arguments. Ryan, your closing argument, please.
Look, I think conference championships are fun. I think they're a symbol of everything that college football is. But with the new postseason format, you've already got your super exciting, you know, kind of before the playoff starts, postseason games, and that's the first round of the playoffs where we get to watch teams walk into a hostile crowd, a hostile home crowd, and either come out with a win or their season's over. And I think with the new format, it kind of takes away from the college football championship because yeah, you probably got teams that are going to go in there and if you're sitting at the number 3 seed and you're thinking, wow, our path looks pretty hard to the conference champion or to the college football championships, and you look over on the other side of the bracket and the number 5 team has a cakewalk, yeah, I might lose my conference championship game. I I wouldn't. I'll take the home game. Yeah, sure, I'll take the home game, and then I'll go and play elsewhere. It's the more teams we put into this playoff, and I'm sure we're only going to add more. The more teams we add into the playoffs, the less these championships matter. And we've seen it with James Madison and Tulane last year. We've seen it with Notre Dame. I know it's fun to see again. It's fun to see teams like JMU and Tulane get, but when they just get dog walked, it's not fun to watch. And I don't know that we'll see another group of 5 team make a run to a national championship because of things like NIL. It's I just don't think college, I don't think conference championships should matter.
Okay. And Nick, your closing argument, please.
I think they should matter, but I think they should be the way they're viewed in terms of mattering should change. I don't think you can really make it so black and white with okay, if a team wins this conference championship game, they should automatically get into the playoffs and anything else is irrelevant. You can have the automatic bids, sure, but I think they should affect seeding as an automatic bid, and I think more specifically they should really be a 13th point of emphasis on how the committee views these teams and really takes into account, information which how they evaluate teams and really who are the 12 best teams. Because if you're going to keep the format the way it is, you're going to have 5 of those teams automatically get in. That's not up for debate here. I'm talking about the teams who are not automatically getting in, who are in a conference championship and are trying to play their way in, or maybe they're just on the edge and they're thinking, we win this game, we're for sure in. Or maybe, I don't know, if we lose this game bad enough, we might get knocked out. I think it should really be used as that purpose. And I think a really good example I wanted to use of this is 2020, COVID season. For the first time in our lives, guess who played in a conference championship? Notre Dame was a member of the ACC that year. They get boat raced by Clemson against a team that they beat in double overtime, I will admit, earlier in the year with a backup quarterback. Clemson had DJU playing in that game instead of Trevor Lawrence because he tested positive for COVID. Trevor Lawrence comes back in the ACC championship. Notre Dame gets boat raced. They still make the playoffs. And what do you know? They get bottled by Alabama in the first round. Who I think got screwed that year was Texas A&M. They had one loss from the beginning of the year. It was by Alabama. This was a team that had a lot of momentum towards the end of the year. They beat Florida, who took Bama in a pretty good contest in the SEC championship, and they hadn't lost a game since week 2 of the season. They get left out, and instead, Notre Dame gets put in. They face Bama. They don't put up a good fight. Bama goes on to win the national championship. I think, looking at that conference championship, if they should be evaluated the way they're evaluated, somebody should look at that game and go, maybe Notre Dame is not as good of a team as I think they are. Because no top 4 team in the country would get absolutely pulverized in an important game of the year. And I think that logic could be applied to all the conferences in this 12-team format. If you were to look at a team like Alabama last year who gets pulverized and they're the last team in, wasn't it? They were the last team in? Or they were the second to last team in?
No.
They were the second to last
9 team. They were the 9 seed.
Of the at-larges, Ryan.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The second
Correct.
last team, Miami.
Okay. Somebody should look at that game, and they should look at the way Notre Dame had been playing. Now, granted, it was against inferior opponents, but if you look at that and compare it to how Alabama played against Georgia, at the end, and it compared to how Alabama had been playing in weeks prior, somebody should look at those games and see this team really isn't the ninth best team in the country.
All right. The court has come to a decision. In the case of the argument of whether or not conference championships games should and do matter, the court has ruled that conference championship games do and should matter in favor of Nick.
Boom.
Ryan,
Boo.
on the charges of losing the argument and arguing that conference championships should not matter, I hereby sentence you to reliving the Luka Doncic trade.
Oh my god. Oh no. That's like worse than life in prison, dude. Dude, just put me on death row. Matter of fact, take me to the electric chair now. Oh my god. No. I'm so getting fired for this, dude. My client. Oh no. That's awful.
Court is adjourned. I'm Judge Christian. Thank you guys for having me.
Ryan, how'd you enjoy your sentence?
Not good. That was rough. I don't ever want to hear that again. Oh my god. That was like earth shattering when
Bottom
I
five
heard
night,
that.
bottom five night of your life.
Seriously, yeah. What? Why would you
Any,
remind me of that, bro?
maybe I don't know. Ask the judge. Don't ask me.
Ugh.
Anyway,
Don't hate the player, hate the
hate the
game.
game. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on to another new segment. We're gonna try and do a tier list of things college football related. Maybe every episode, maybe not every episode, every other episode. Anyways, we're gonna move into a tier list of college football helmets.
Yes.
So, anyways, here we have our wonderful selection of helmets, and me and Ryan are gonna go through and rank them all. So, starting off with Alabama. What are we thinking for
Look,
Alabama?
yeah, I like the idea that like for just the helmet logo, like I like
Uh,
the idea that they put the number of championships that they have, but come on, bro.
it's very
Your logo's
basic.
an elephant.
It's
You can
very
do
basic.
something way better.
It's a classic look, but yes, it is a little bland. Some of these images, by the way, are not these teams' primary helmets. Like I know for a fact, I don't think this is Arizona State's primary helmet, so we're gonna do it off the primary and just live with this image. Alabama, I'd say if we ignore how their dominance and how this is an iconic helmet, this is like a C.
At best.
This is C. Arizona State, I think their primary now is more of like a reflective red. I think they have
Yeah.
an awesome helmet.
Yeah.
I'll,
Isn't it with the Sun Devil too?
well, we could do. Well, then that's the yellow one.
Hold on.
Here, let's.
Let me
Here,
see
we'll
it.
put a picture up of the of what it looks like of what helmet we're going off of. Yeah, it's
Wait.
the yellow one. It's the yellow one with the Sun Devil on it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that one's
yeah.
clean.
I
Sorry,
like that one.
that one's clean. That's like that's A. I'd put that
I'd
at
throw
A.
that in A. Yeah.
Okay. Arizona,
B.
they B. I think theirs is white. It looks like this is just white. A B. I
No, no,
agree.
no. Wait, what?
I think their primary helmet is that, but white.
No, I don't want any letter logos, bro.
Yeah, it's white. It's just that it's this, but white with the A logo on it. So you keeping it B. You want to drop it to C. I
It's
think
the
B is. I
white
think B
with
is.
an A. No, I don't want any of the letters. Get the letters out of here.
Okay, drop it to C. All right, fine. Gosh, you realize most of these are letters, right?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? You got it. Arkansas. Is that a B then?
Yeah, I'll give you B.
Okay. Okay. Auburn. I think Auburn's got a clean helmet, and there's more to it than just the letter logo. The stripe always looks nice. They always swap the color of the face mask, which I think looks nice. This is a letter logo that I think's a B. Ryan.
Okay. Sure, fine.
I just want to preface this, by the way. These aren't like ranked in the tiers. They're just going in the tiers.
Yeah.
Baylor. Isn't Baylor's primary gold?
Yes. Put it
Gold
in
with
D.
D?
Dude.
You
Okay.
don't like it?
If we're not like discrediting for being lame with the logo, like you could put it in probably C.
Okay. This is what, Boston College?
D.
Off brand
That's
Notre
a
Dame.
that's a D helmet. They
BYU?
have they have an eagle. Let's let's get something better.
Yeah.
BYU, it's just a Y.
Yeah.
It's like there's no creativity. Like they're I just don't like the letters. You're the Cougars. That's a cool animal.
I think we should do more than just, oh, there's the letter logo. It's automatic C. Because, like, I agree. BYU should be here. I think they should be in B.
Okay.
Cal. Eh. Eh.
Yeah, I'm kind of in C on that one.
There's not really any details other than it's really just the sticker on it. I like helmets with details, man.
Yeah. See,
Cincinnati Saint
this is a letter logo that at least tries to do
look
something.
looks cool, and they can swap it with colors. They have a red, they have black, they
Hmm.
have white. This is a B.
Yeah. A.
This is an A. Okay, good. We agree on that one. Good, good, good,
Not
good,
even
good,
a
good.
question, dude.
Good.
That's
Okay.
iconic.
Colorado.
I think that's an A. I know that's also a letter, but like you've got the buffalo in the background. I think that looks sick.
It's a letter logo, but it's not just a letter logo.
Yeah,
Like
you got a buffalo. You
there's
got the
detail
buffalo
to
on
the
there.
logo. There you go, man. Duke, D. D for Duke. Oh, D for Duke.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's not fair. Hold on.
I don't know. Duke's colors just don't look good in football. I gotta be honest.
Okay, this isn't fair. That's fair.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
Also no question.
Okay.
And I hate these two teams. This one more than this one.
Yeah.
No question though.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech.
C. We're just gonna put
No.
letter logos in C.
No, because some letter logos do it good. Also, we should, by the way, we should do their new helmet because they got new helmets and I think they look cool because
Let's see.
they switched to Under Armour, I think. They switched to wait. They
Is it
just
is it
got
is it still just the GT?
yeah, but like they have the nice gold stripe on it. Yeah, they switched to Under Armour.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
It has a nice gold stripe on it. We're talking about the white ones, not the gold ones. Or we
Yeah.
could do the gold ones too. I mean, it's better than Boston College.
Yeah.
Um, this is a B. I like this.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna let you do this one. So there's a
C.
okay, fair,
I
fairs. Get that right. All right, Houston, same thing,
Yep.
same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
This one's I like this.
B.
I like Iowa State. B, yeah. Iowa,
Give me A.
okay, I like it. Kansas State,
Give me an A.
all
That's
right.
pretty cool.
Kentucky, Kentucky,
C.
Kentucky. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure this is not what their things look like now. Yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more
C.
glossy than this now, but see, yeah. Louisville, theirs is red. Their default helmet is red, and I
Yeah,
think
but I
it's
mean,
awesome.
is it like the Ville or something, or
No,
is it still the
uh,
Cardinal?
no, this is still their default helmet. Um,
Okay.
this is a
A.
B. A.
B.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, we could do A. I need to stop scrolling up and down the page. It's difficult, okay? All right,
You got it.
LSU.
That's a tough one.
I think it should go here.
Yeah.
Saying A. I think A.
Yeah.
Terps, Maryland.
B. I like their
What?
I like the Terps. It's a
I
nice
think this should
helmet.
be an A.
Yeah, I'll give you an A. That's fine.
Okay. Miami. Staple look. It's a
It's
letter logo,
iconic. It's
but it's one of the
iconic.
cleanest letter logos. We can put it
Yeah,
up here, I think. What here?
I think
One of the two.
B.
Okay.
I can't go any higher.
Okay. Um, we'll just get that out of the way.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we have to be unbiased. Theirs is
No,
incomplete.
no, 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 no. They can see my flag in the background. There's no need to be unbiased.
Okay, fine. Can we make a new tier? Is that no? We can't. Okay. Michigan State Spartan logo, really clean logo. They
I think
usually have very clean
that's a
helmets.
nice logo. I think that's an A or B.
Go A. Michigan.
I like the idea. It doesn't look good. So,
I don't. I think it looks good to me. I think it's A.
okay, okay.
There's no way this is what Minnesota's helmets look like currently. I,
If that's the case, bro, that's a D.
that's a bad helmet. That's also a bad picture, but that's a bad helmet. Hold on. Okay, the logo is a lot bigger. It's a lot more prominent, but it's still this yellow. It's still this color palette.
D,
B.
D,
Okay. D.
D.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Bro, her
Okay.
D.
Okay. This is not Miss. I know for a fact this is not Mississippi State's default helmet now. Their
Isn't it
default
just
helmet is
state?
it's either says state or it says it's the interlocked MSU, which I think either of those helmets are better than this one.
Yeah,
I think theirs is a B.
yeah.
That's clean. Uh,
You know where to put it, bro.
I'm not
You
putting
know
it
where
in
to put it.
S. I'll put it here
You're not putting it in. What do you mean you're not putting that in S?
because they can see the flag in the background.
I don't care. You're telling me that's not one of the best helmets in college football?
It is. But my
Oh
issue with them,
my
no, hold on.
goodness.
But time out. My issue with it is they never wear this one. They wear this one maybe 3 games out of the year,
Yeah, because they've got seven other helmets they gotta wear.
and this one's better than all of them. They should wear this more.
So
Hey,
put it in S.
hey, hey, hey.
I better not see another logo go up there.
Uh, there's probably like
There's one more that I see.
there's maybe yeah, there's very limited amounts that should go up there. NC State, is this what their thing is still? Is it what
It
is
better
this?
be. It better be. That's such a good helmet.
I think the logo's a little bit more larger, which I think
Nice
looks at
grammar.
better. This isn't. Shut up. This is an A, I think, as well. You agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's an A. The stripe.
Give me a
No,
B.
the stripe they have is so
Give me
detailed
a
and it's
B.
so cool. It's so no. This is all, and it's iconic, and it's very unique, bro.
Type it in Morse code or something.
Shut up. Here.
Oh,
That is
I see
such
what
a
you mean. I see
unique,
what you mean. All
clean
right.
design.
All right.
That is
All
an
right.
A helmet.
Fine. All
Uh,
right. Northwestern C.
yeah.
It's just
Sorry.
an N, bro.
I'm just trying to get this right.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Um,
I want your thoughts on this one.
D. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing there. There is nothing there for me to look at. It's a gold helmet. Great. Boston College has the exact same thing. It's just a different gold.
Yeah, okay, but Boston College's gold is like crappy. Theirs actually looks nice. Now I'm not put.
I don't care. It's just a gold helmet. Your logo is an Irishman fighting. Put it on the helmet.
Yeah, but I don't know. No, to put this in D
No,
is
no.
criminal.
Put
It's
it in.
criminal. It's criminal.
I
I'm
don't
putting it.
care. I don't care. It's just a gold helmet. I don't care how iconic that is.
Yeah, but if you think gold helmet, you think Notre
It's
Dame.
the gold
Like,
helmet. I don't care,
yes,
bro.
it is the gold helmet. You
Suck.
cannot
It's
have
ugly.
another gold. That's your opinion.
It's
I
it's
I
ugly.
still think I have it lower than like most people, and I'm putting it here
Ooh.
because it's not ugly. It looks cool, and I hate Notre Dame. So
You hate Notre Dame.
yeah, I hate Notre Dame. Yeah, Ohio State. They do that now. They do the cool thing with the whole stickers, so
Yeah,
that
I
should be
know.
taken
I'm
into
willing to put.
consideration.
I'm willing to put that in A.
Okay, agreed. I think Oklahoma State's one of the white helmets that like looks good. I think it just matches with their orange brown.
Yeah, yeah. The orange and white just looks good.
B or A.
I'd say B. It's still a letter logo. I don't. I
Okay,
just.
I'll take it
I
as an
don't love them.
agreement. There you go.
Yeah. I
Ole
mean.
Miss has some of the best helmets in the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oregon, no question.
Yep. Yep.
You can pick
Yep.
any one of them. This is a white helmet. Get it out of my face.
Whose helmet is that?
That's Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call
Um.
us hypocrisy,
Pitt.
but like this is stupid. Pitt,
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. No. 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 If you're gonna put Notre Dame in B, you can't put Penn State in D.
because
Put
this is
Notre
unique.
Dame.
No, this is unique. It's genuinely made of gold. Like it is a very shiny, reflective gold helmet.
All right. All right. Whatever. Whatever.
You look at this pic. No,
We
if
don't
you
need to
look at
waste
this
any more. We
picture,
don't need to waste any more time on it. We don't need to
you're
waste
right.
any more time on it. It's
You're
whatever.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Right. Pitt. I think they flipped. I don't know if they flipped the colors. No, it's still this. It's still yellow with the
Okay.
A. Okay, I like it.
I like that.
Purdue is a C.
Okay.
Rutgers is a C.
Okay.
SMU.
I'd say that's an A or a B.
I agree. A or B here as well.
Yeah, I like A.
Stanford. This is
B.
a B. B. Yep. B. Cuse.
C.
C. Because this is
I hate to
these
do
two
it
are
to him, but yeah.
these two are the same helmets.
Yeah.
This is an A or an S. I'm gonna go A.
Yeah, not even a question. Yep.
Yeah.
I could put it in B, but yeah, I'm fine with C. But
If
yeah.
you're putting it in B, then it deserves to be in B.
Okay. Okay.
um,
That's it. They have a
there's
new logo now, and I want to put it in
it's
D
ugly.
because of how
We'll
ugly
put
it
this in
is.
D because of how ugly their new logo is. It's bad.
Yes. Why would they change it? I want to see where you put that. Good. Good.
It's a good helmet. Really good
It is a
helmet.
good helmet. It's classic. It's
Yes.
timeless.
They have. I don't know if this is their default helmet. I think they have some unique stripe. Oh,
Mm, no,
no,
it kind
no,
of
it's
just looks
just
like the
this.
white with the yeah.
It's
It's
just this. I think is their default one the white or is it this black one?
I think it's the white.
That white one with the black stripe looks kind of cool. We'll put it in B.
Yeah.
UCLA.
I think it's B.
Okay. I think that's an A.
Yeah.
There's a sick too. Bandy's. I hate their new logo. Their helmets look cool. Their uniforms look better than they did before, but their
Yeah.
new logo is such a downgrade from the old one. I cannot put it any higher than like C.
Yeah.
VT. Oh. B. V's an A. Wake is a this. This is
Yep.
this.
Yep.
This is this.
Yep.
Final
Yep.
one.
B.
B. Okay, so this is our tier list. I don't know. I think this is pretty good. I think.
I think that ended up better than I was
I
expecting
think.
it to.
Look, I think we set up criteria for it.
We
We
did
don't
not
let.
set up criteria. We
Yes, you
barely
did.
set
You
up
said
criteria.
no. You said you did not like logos. That is just letters, and I think this this
I
constitutes
get
it
it.
because
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
all of these. Okay, but this is not Oregon's default helmet.
That is the one exception.
Also, this is not their default helmet. They don't have a default helmet.
No,
They have any helmet you could imagine in the book with their colors: black, white, green,
Pink.
yellow, pink. Oregon's S automatic.
Yeah,
The only things up
that
here
was
that
a
are
lot
like
happening.
these are the only. This is the only one that's straight letters, and it's because there's a very unique and very clean feature about it. The rest of
Yeah,
these that have letters in it have something else going for them. Like this has the buffalo, this has the tiger, this has the feather on the back, these have the
yeah.
swords. Um, I think they're cool. The B tier is where these are the top end letter logos like Miami, Georgia Tech,
hmm
Auburn's is really clean. And then here we have just some basic letter logos, and then here we have some pretty bad
We have the
logos.
worst teams known to mankind.
We have some ugly helmets plus some teams that Ryan heavily dislikes. I think there's
Yeah,
a
pretty
difference
much.
between how we think about how we look at helmets between me and Ryan. I'm just gonna make that obvious.
There's what?
There's a difference between how me and you look at helmets, especially
I wouldn't
uh
say there's that big of a difference. I think there's enough of a
especially by the
difference.
way, especially rivals helmets
Yeah, yeah. No, I can't look at
because
a.
you
I
have
mean,
these two down here and I got this one all the way up here because as much as I hate them, I know that's a pretty
okay,
awesome
okay,
helmet.
okay. You put Kansas in there first of all. Second of all, Oklahoma. Let's be
Actually,
real.
no, I ignored Kansas first.
Yeah,
If we're
yeah.
being
You
real,
ignored them.
Kansas like here, somewhere around here.
Yeah, realistically, it's
There,
probably over there.
we'll put
It's
it here.
probably right next to Mizzou. I'm
We'll
gonna
probably
be
put
real.
it. Yeah, fine. We'll put it there. The rest of these are bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna defend Oklahoma.
Yeah. Anyways, that was first tier list from us. We'll have another one next episode. Something different, whether it be stadiums, uniforms, yada 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 yada. You know that you know it. But yeah. All right, so that's gonna do it for episode 32 of the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. Kind of first episode you feel like of the new football season. This is our first like
Yeah,
preseason,
yeah.
off-season episode. Which I like that we can kind of come back and call it a new year and kind of do
Mm.
a different.
Which, by the way, almost a year of pre-snap pressure pod. Like,
Almost. It will be after media days, right?
yeah,
Which, by
around
the
then, yeah.
way, we're going to, and we're gonna have content from.
Yup,
So
we'll be
we're
there.
gonna we're gonna have some cool stuff coming for SC Media Days. I don't really know how we're gonna do it. I don't know if we're gonna do like a live stream. I don't know if we're gonna film from there. We'll figure something out. But we are gonna do a lot of content involving SEC Media Days, and we're also gonna have some really cool people join us. From that event. So
Exciting times. Exciting times.
very, very exciting times. Speaking of exciting, we're back next week. Yeah. Gone with that bi-weekly stuff from the off season from before. We're back to
Yeah, yeah.
every week.
We got stuff coming out every week now.
Back to every week until the end of the football season. So every Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Anyways. Anything else, Ryan?
Nope.
Once again, thank you for Christian for being our guest judge. Maybe he'll be back again. I don't know. Ryan might contest that, but we'll see.
Banish him.
Banish him. We should sentence him to something.
Ooh, ooh. Sentence him to 5 more years of Billy Napier.
5, 10.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I sentenced him to 5 years of Billy Napier's in-game coaching minus Billy Napier's recruiting. So it's bad
yeah,
coaching and he just has terrible players.
20 years of that.
Anyways, yeah. Once again, that's going to do it from us. Thank you for watching. As always, we'll be back next week with another episode, episode 33. We're going to have some more fun, cool stuff for you then. Hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching.